Let's take you back to our top story now and just get more reaction following former UMKhonto weSizwe Secretary General Floyd Shivambu's announcement earlier today that he's kicking off the consultation process on whether there's a need for a new political party. We're now joined by political analyst Dr. Ongama Mtimka. Dr. Mtimka, a very good afternoon to you and thank you so much for your time. So just help us unpack Shivambu's announcement today. I mean, he managed in his 1 hour or so long briefing to announce this consultation process that he will now be embarking on to establish whether he should start a political party, while he maintains he will never resign from the MK party, even after speaking out about, these false allegations made against him in an intelligence report of him seeking to take over the party. Just help us make sense of this development.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Good afternoon to you and your viewers. So we've had this before. I'm starting something that's upsetting my party, yet at the same time I'm not leaving the party. I think that he cheekily left that in so that he could give former President Jacob Zuma a taste of his medicine there. The fallout itself is not surprising. I think that the readiness of MK party to accommodate personalities who are strong and could push to build their portfolios in ways that would be good for the party, but not good for a supreme leadership style that the former president has preferred. I think for me, this is what it shows, that MK party is not yet ready to be organization building. They would rather have this arrangement in which former President Jacob Zuma is the supreme leader and there's nobody else who's rising to consolidate particular positions, which in a way would threaten the family dynasty in that party. I think what Floyd did today was to do two things in terms of his psyche. He's able to show a response to the MK party because as a politician, he feels that this fallout, which happens within months of a fallout with Julius Malema, is something that he has to respond to. Yeah. So, but what he's doing by deferring an announcement of whether or not a party has been formed, I think he recognizes that there's a need for a well thought out process, and there's a need to actually calculate. And so I think that this is not necessarily awaiting consultation per se, but testing the ground just to see how viable the idea is going to be. And I think that that's optimal from a decision-making point of view.
So while Shivambu's political track record, I mean, it does speak for itself, the question is, can he go at it alone? I mean, does he have what it takes to lead a political party that embodies the characteristics that he listed earlier in that press briefing, talking about a political party must not be a platform for self-enrichment, it must not be a fiefdom or a cult, etc.?
Yeah. So if we look at the history of party formation in the democratic period, what we can conclude is that, yes, indeed, it's possible for prominent national individuals to go and start a party, and because of our proportional representation system in South Africa, to even secure a seat or two in the National Assembly. What has been difficult is not whether or not you could have a good start. It's been a question of whether you can convert that initial momentum in order to build a sustainable party. It doesn't help him much that the election that's coming after his departure is a local government election, because those tend to be localized. Those do not necessarily favor national movements that much, even though the Action SA story, is somewhat different. It is a lot harder to be an individual who's just started a party to succeed at a local government level. So So that is a political situation that doesn't favor, success for new parties.
Yeah.
If it was ahead of a national general election, that would be better. But I'm not saying it's not possible. I think also Floyd appreciates this, because if I'm looking at him, he's continuing what they used to do in the EFF of speaking to each constituency throughout the country. So him mentioning the areas in which he's going to be doing some groundwork recognizes that it's different operating during a time of a national government election.
Dr. Mtimka, I just want to squeeze this last question in. I mean, he also managed in that briefing to squash any possibility of ever returning to the ANC or even the EFF party, saying it was the best decision of his life leaving the EFF before calling it a cult, of course. But what does this then mean for the MK party? What are we likely to see over the next few days, given also just the dynamics, as you've also been sharing, about the next coming local government election?
Politicians do have to save face. So I would read those sworn statements as mere speaking out of the emotions of betrayal that are recent, and also trying to pander to the constituents that are still within those parties, which he may want to learn. Otherwise, he may well join any party, depending on whether they can strike some deals and agreements between the party elites, among them as party elites. I wouldn't read that to be truly saying he would never join any of those parties. In fact, he may just do calculations and realize that that's the best course of action for him, rather than starting a new party.
All right, Dr. Mtimka, thank you so much for your analysis. Really appreciated. Political analyst Dr. Ongama Mtimka there for us.